In this video, I'm going to show you how I make thousands of dollars each month betting on sports without having to rely on parlays. You want to make thousands of dollars each month betting on sports, but most likely all the time you just end up donating your cash. You go in the vicious cycle of you get paid, you end up placing bets, you end up losing, you lose your bankroll, then you got to re-up, then you do the same thing over and over. Now, when I was first betting on sports, I was all over the parlays because I thought that was the only way to make money. So pretty much everybody thinks that as well, right? When you first get into sports betting, all you hear is parlay. So I kept realizing as I kept putting in these 4, 5, 6 teamers, I just kept losing. I would lose way more than what I was winning. I just didn't feel okay with that because I was never getting anywhere. I was definitely donating money. I wasn't tracking any of it, but when it comes down to betting those, I was realizing this. I didn't have the bankroll to really take it serious. So the reason why behind that is I was just like, oh, okay, so let me go put 20 bucks on a 5-teamer because I'm trying to win 500, 600. But the thing is, it never really pans out. Once in a while you'll hit it, but then it hooks you and then you want to go back and you want to keep going at it. But then guess what? I'd go 10, 20 times without winning and then I would end up being in a hole. Now I'm chasing, trying to win parlays to win back the money that I lost. So here's the thing. If you're thinking about betting a parlay, you might as well just go and bet the lottery. Why? Because you'll save money and the same result's going to end. So there are some key things that you need to do to be able to be successful and to actually make some money when it comes to sports betting. Now, the first thing is to have the correct bankroll. People don't realize this. They go into the game with unreal expectations. So here's the deal. If you go in with 500 bucks, you have $1,000, you cannot expect to make thousands of dollars each month. Yes, maybe one month you get lucky and you get on a roll, but long term, to be able to sustain is a recipe for disaster. So first off, you need to have a decent sized bankroll. Decent bankroll is anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000. Now, step 2 is not worrying about parlays whatsoever because we're not going to be betting those. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be hitting straight bets. We're going to correlate that with what our bankroll is to what our unit size is. Now, our unit size is going to be anywhere between 1 to 3% of what our bankroll is. So if you have a $5,000 bankroll, 1% is 50 bucks, 2% is 100, 3% is 150. Now, no matter what the bet is or what the odds are, you're betting your unit size. If a play is minus 150, that does not mean you're laying 150 to win 100, unless your unit size is 150. You are not laying what the odds are. You are laying what your unit size is. Now, once you have that taken care of, your next step is when you look at a slate of games on any given day, you want to take a look for line movement. It's very important. This should be the first thing that you look at because you're going to be able to narrow yourself down. Now, the best time to do this is later on in the day when you're getting closer to game time. If you wake up right in the morning and look at stuff or the day before, there's not going to be much line movement because not a lot of people are making bets that early. So when it gets close to game time is the most important because then you can narrow it down to just a handful of games that you really need to dive further into. Now, when I say line movement, for example, let's just say on the money line, a team starts at minus 120, they open at minus 120, and now they're at like minus 180 or whatnot. So that means, you had significant line movement there, and there's a reason for that. So you would write that team down because you want to know exactly why there was such big line movement on that play. Now, this isn't just for money line plays. Spreads can have line movement as well. A spread could open at minus 3.5 in basketball and move up to minus 6.5 or minus 7 or minus 8. It's the same thing. So make sure when you're going through, don't just look at the money lines. Look at the totals and look at the spreads. Anything that has pretty significant line movement, you will write that down. Now let's get to the next step. Let's say you're looking at a total in basketball. Your first step, you have the line movement written down. So now you have to determine whether you're looking at an over or an under. You determine that by how that number moved. So if the total went up from what it opened up at, you're looking at the over. If the total went down, you're looking at the under. Now, once you have determined that, now you need to understand, for example, this is for NBA and for college basketball, that when you are looking at totals, you need to take a look at what the defensive efficiency rating is and the offensive efficiency rating for the teams that you're looking at. Because now if you're betting on the over, these teams that you're betting on should be pretty good with the ball offensively. Because if they're efficient offensively, then they're going to be able to put up some points. And then on the opposite end of that, you don't want them to be too good defensive. The reason why is if lacking a bit defense, their defensive efficiency rating is lower, but their offensive efficiency rating is higher, then this is more likely that there's going to be more points scored. And also vice versa when you're looking at the under. Now, this doesn't just apply in totals, also applies in money line bets as well. You want to see if you could exploit a certain matchup after you found that line movement, and you want to make sure that that matchup is being exploited in your favor. Now, let's get to the final step and possibly the most important step. What you're going to look at is is where people are putting their money on that game that you're looking at. Because the most important thing is you want to see a lot of bets being placed on the opposite side of what you're looking at. But you want to see a good amount of money being placed on the bet that you are looking at. Now, the reason behind that is when a lot of bets are being placed in one spot, well, that mostly means a lot of the public bets are being put on that. Now, the reason behind that is it could be just very simple. If you think about the public and think about the way that they bet, let's say if they're looking at an over, if they just go and look at two teams that score a lot of points just based off of just what they look at, well, then the public's going to go bet the over. They don't look anywhere more into that whatsoever. So a lot of those bets will be placed. So maybe you're looking at the under. So what you're looking for is those scenarios where the public is all over one side, but yet there's a heavy amount of money on the other side. Now, once you're able to see that and you want to match that up with what you have down on paper, like I said, you want the public to be all over the opposite side. They're not always wrong, but they are wrong more than they are right. I'm telling you right now, just from experience and from data tracking, it's more likely when there's more bets being put on one side, but there's heavy money being put on the side that you're on, that you're going to actually win that bet. Follow those steps and I guarantee you, you're going to up your winning percentage and you're actually going to start turning a profit. As always, guys, I'm Frank with Linemaker Sports. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, I'm out.